not, it's kind of plus minus in a photo club. That's always, that's one of the quote rules, end quote. But here, this is a great subject. I mean, it looks like two people. It's a great capture. I love how we have this three-dimensionality to it. The number here kind of tells us we're at an address of some kind. I think it's a fun shot. It's a 13.
Flying low.
So eagles is so easy to blow out the head. And whoever did that, I mean, this is just beautiful exposure. Absolutely nailed it. Your shutter speed's perfect. Your depth of field is perfect. You don't get a better eagle shot than that. The killer for the image is kind of that time of the day. We have all this specular highlight in the water, which is competing just enough that the eagle doesn't pop. So a technique is if you use, again, a light and center technique where you'd lighten him or keep him lighter and darken all of the surrounding, then you'll focus right on him and it'll really keep us drawn right in him instead of pulling us away. That's the third technique.
Lake Erie winter.
Well, it's the shore of Lake Erie winter. The depth of field here is a bit, you have this in focus, you have the background lake is somewhat in focus, you've got movement here, it looks like it's shutter speed, looks like the wind may have been blowing. There's a lot going on here, and you kind of don't have a sense as to where to land. Yes, this is what the lakeshore looks like, but where do I land on the image itself? It's a 10.
A winter morning in Death Valley.
How do you tell winter and summer in Death Valley? Okay. I think that there's first of all, your subject matter, Death Valley is one of my favorite places, so it's great subject matter. The moon and the mountain here is just beautiful. I mean, you've really captured, that exposure is so awesome. But there are components of the image that pull us away. I mean, the contrail always is going to pull you away. You're going to get docked for a contrail every single time. This guy is very strong. He's a very dark shadow with a lot of detail, and I'm going to look at him, and then you forget there's the moon. And these two guys are standing like two soldiers framing this, but in framing it, they also pull you away from what's going on. So I think you're looking at a subject in here, and there's a lot, these things are detracting, I think, from the impact. So it's an 11.
Freedom Falls, Kennerdale, PA.
Oh, what a beautiful spot. So technically this is totally perfect. Everything is in focus, and the water is so soft and this long exposure. And just tack sharp throughout. Your exposure is perfect. It's very soft lighting, nothing's blown out. The water, everything is just perfect. I mean, it's a very serene scene. I think your composition is very strong because all of this works. You go back to the waterfall, all that work. If that weren't there, you wouldn't be able to have all this junk here. But it works because that's adding to it. There's a favorite shot of Ansel Adams has Tenaya Springs, or Tenaya Spring, whatever, his shot. And in that shot, there's a branch that's kind of hanging out in the water. And I said, Ansel, you just should have gone and just cut it down. And if you go and just cut that guy, just push him right out of the way, then it's burnt. No, I think it's a 14.
Primetime Green Heron.
Okay, so here is a portrait that is just spot on. he's in focus, his eye, everything is tacked, the details all here. And notice this beautiful bokeh in the background. I mean, this is the kind of background you want when you're doing portraits, when you're doing a number of shots. This is where your depth of field is so important. And that guy is just focused dead on, probably on dinner or lunch or breakfast, whatever. He's just gorgeous. So it's a 15.
Embraced by the mountains.
So another where technically it's beautiful. I mean, look, there's nothing is blown out. Your colors, your focus, your depth of field, everything is just spot on. A very interesting subject here. Love this building. I love how you've kind of approached it this way, and the mountains here. You kind of go right into the mountains. You can see where it's embraced by the mountains. I think it's a very, very nicely done shot. The 13.
First sight at Tahoe.
Love the hot air balloon. I think every image is beautiful hot air balloons. This is the vertical allows you to do this so well. The balloon reflection is so cool. It is a very clean shot of the balloon. When you're going to do these, make sure you clean your spots up, because that's a bit of an annoyance. And some of the stuff down here, I think, subtracts just a little bit because it kind of pulls you away, because this really is, you just want to keep that as clean as you can. I think it's a beautiful balloon. 13.
Strutting on the Blue Ridge Parkway.
So just like the heron we saw, you've got this beautiful depth of field. The bokeh here is just gorgeous. I mean, that turkey pops so gorgeous. His colors are phenomenal. I think your exposure on him is phenomenal. He's just gorgeous. And the fact you got a wild turkey in that way, I give you credit. That's a 15.
The mating call.
So we're doing it again. This great background. It's all blurred just the way it should be. This guy, I think he's in a great spot. There's no wasted space. You go right to him. This is beautifully exposed. You're sharp. You're just crystal sharp here. It's beautiful. I'd give that a 15 as well. Sorry.
No Colopas.
That's the apocalypse after.
Say it again.
Snowpocalypse.
Snowpocalypse.
Oh my God, why do these people have to name this stuff?
Because we like to see us suffer.
Oh.
Just,
I haven't even had alcohol today, and I
Well,
said,
you'd be able to say it then. That's right.
I'm gonna go home and drink a glass of wine. I have had it.
Technicals, the snow is good. You haven't blown out any of the snow. You've got good white balance. Your clouds are very nice. It's a pretty kind of winter day. Trees are bare. I think that it technically is all good. Compositionally, you're good. I mean, you've got that here, which kind of fills in the space. It takes you in. But where it is artistically it just lacks the impact. I mean, it's a wind-blown area with some snow and the trees and the clouds. I think that it's a great backdrop for something. It captures the moment, but I think it's a 12.
Warning Sentinel.
Beautiful time of the day. Your lighting is spectacular. Your color is spectacular. You've caught everything here. Your exposure is really well done. These are probably lighter than what we see on the screen. I'm gonna give you credit for that. You go in, and then you're there. So this is all really well done. Being nitpicky, I think that detracts, because you just keep going, my eye keeps going there. Just get rid of those, maybe cut it off here just a little bit, and I think you got a really cool shot here. I'm gonna give it a 13. So here we'll work backwards. You know, the impact here is very strong. You don't see this kind of thing. You know, you've got this beautiful lioness here in a great position. There's impact simply because it's so unique. The black and white works because you know, these brick structures are interesting, but they're additive. I don't think they really subtract from the lioness here. What I'm looking at is that from a technical point of view, this vignette is really strong. If you want to use vignette, you better use a light touch sometimes, because now I look like I'm looking through it with a periscope or something, or a telescope, rather than viewing the image. I'm not really part of this. It looks like I'm looking from 100 miles away with a telescope. So I would make some changes like that, which would, I think, pump up your technical things a bit. So I'm going to give it a 12.
Here, kitty, kitty.
Isn't that like the commercial with the skunk and the girl without the glasses?
Yeah.
Great idea, great subject, but you know, it's all out of focus. So unfortunately, it just takes away any of the beauty of that animal. That's a 9.
Red-tailed hawk.
All right, this is going to be a pain in the butt. There's a lot of artifact here. This looks like somebody's, I don't know if you've cloned things here, but there's all sorts of weird shadows in here. You've got this big blurry thing here. You know, I'm looking at everything but the animal. You know, this is blurry in through here. His eyes are cool, but there's no room really. He's like squashed up in the corner. I think it's a great subject, and I hope he comes by your area again. It's 11.
Yeah.
Ooh,
The dahlia and the bumblebee.
wow. So since I'm giving every image more credit for the darks, I think that guy's got to be lighter. Love the close-up. Love everything's beautiful. Your exposure, I think, is great. Your tack sharp on everything. His wings, everything's tack sharp. That's a 14.
Advertising and corporate prophecy.
Says Kodak sold here, I think, if I know my Italian. Okay.
It's going down.
Oh, it's going down. Oh, now I understand. Okay. Thank you. Now I understand. I think that captures it. Just, yeah. Kodak going, okay, good. You've got, the thing is that the sign's the subject. We've got other things here that are detracting enough that you don't focus in on the sign. I would say darken up some of these things so we're not looking at them as much. Fix the sign so it's not quite as bright in here. And let us focus in on that going down sign. And I think it would be a more powerful image. So I'm going to give it a 12.
Spring, fall.
very nice waterfall in the midst of the woods. The trees are nice and full of leaves, so it must be in the later spring. But there's snow on the ground, so I guess that's not so late. It is, the waterfall is hidden enough here amongst all of this that you kind of lose track of where you want to be. If we go back to the waterfall a few images ago, the tonal range or the color and everything of the surrounding was muted enough and the waterfall was strong enough as a subject that we focused in on it. And here we've got this, the bright green, the brightness in here is pulling us away from the waterfall, and that big hunk of snow there is not so attractive, even though it tells us what's going on. It's part of the story, but it's also very bright. I'm going to give this an 11. Oh, I won't do that. Why? What's your picture?
There's some missing?
All right, in bronze, our winner is Dan Balsano with Strutting on the something or another.
Blue Ridge Parkway.
Oh, Blue Ridge Park. How can you remember? Okay. We've got a couple of 15s.
Yeah.
Mary Kay Tallarico with Lily Pad Pattern and The Mating Call by Odie Schwartz. In gold, we've got Carnival in Venice by Melinda Isaacson. Bob McConnell is our winner in diamond with his Blue Angels. And the 15 in platinum, Tom Whitman. And also Brian Birchtold. And also
Bob Grubbs.
Bob Grubbs. Good job.